30-minute timer going. Hello, happy Monday. And we are starting our Leader Within You 2.0 John Maxwell book. I love this book. I have read it previously, like years ago, but as you all know, as you change, as you grow, as your business grows, you look at things differently. Everything changes, right? So as I'm reading it this time, it has different meaning as when I read it before, right? Let's see. So, chapter 1, influence. Honestly, what does influence mean to you guys? You guys can unmute. You can type it in the chat, whatever you prefer. But I want to hear from you for a second. What is influence to you? What does that mean when somebody has influence? Don't be quiet. We got the timer going.
Well, like it said in the book, having followers.
Right.
I mean, I thought about that prior to reading that.
Right.
People that follow you, that look up to you, that value what you have to say to them.
Absolutely. And when I was reading that, like, of course, we know what influence is. It's like when people follow you, right? Think of the influencers on Instagram, right? They have influence over you. Like that chick can post whatever. That Sister Studio. Do you all follow Sister Studio, Jen Reed, on Instagram? Just don't. Because she is the sweetest soul in the world. Like she literally is like my best friend, Jen. Like has the same personality, that like just that pure heart. Like when her stepdad was in the hospital, like she's literally like sobbing on her Instagram stories. She shares affordable things from Target, whatever. Like, and she can sell me anything because I'm just like, I love this girl, right? Like I know her heart. She goes to local schools for teachers, whatever, right? She is just an amazing person. I will buy whatever she sells. I swear I have the skincare. Some of the skin pads that I use are from her. I bought the Target dress that she wore on her vacation. Like, like she's got influence over me. So that is what we want, right? We want influence. People want to listen to what you have to say. People have to trust you. You're a good role model. Yes, all of these things. I love those things that you dropped. That's exactly what you have to have when you have influence. You have to add value to people. Point blank, you have to have value to give. If you want influence over people, somehow you have to influence them. And that means that you're giving them things for free. You're adding value to their life. You want them to come check out your Facebook page, your stories for a reason, right? So that is influence. What is the purpose of leadership? Like, what do you think the purpose of leadership is? The purpose of leadership kind of gets your brain like spinning a little bit, right? When I thought about this last night, I'm like, leadership. What is leadership? So the purpose of leadership, if we don't have leadership, do we have anywhere to go? Right? Everybody has a leader somewhere. I have a principal. She's our leader, right? You have a boss who is a leader. You have to have a leader to show you where to go, right? How to do things, right? Yeah, helping others. They have to help reach their goals. They have to empower. They give direction. That's the purpose of leadership. Okay. Why do you desire to become a better leader? And I want to hear from all of you guys. Why do you desire to become a better leader?
So I'll go first.
Go for it.
Reading this book got me thinking about that, actually, because I never really thought like I've said this before, I've never thought of myself as a leader. And then I got to thinking, why would I want to lead someone? And I feel like I want to empower people to be their best self, and to reach their potential. That's exciting to me, to help other people, really. So that's what it is for me.
Absolutely. I love that. And so I kind of see the same things, helping others reach their goals, empower to help other people with their goals, help them succeed, empower others, make an impact. Okay, that's why we're here, right? Whether it's financially, whether it's health goals, whether it's just community. Like some people just want to be here to be a part of this. We're leaders, right? And we're guiding them and we're helping people get to where they want to go. And we have already kind of paved that way, right? We have that vision for the longer road down ahead, right? And that's what leaders have vision. And so that way you're guiding them to that success. Okay. Who is someone in your personal or professional life who in your life you've admired? Think of somebody who's had that influence over you as a leader, and why did you admire them? What makes you, think of them as so influential? Like what kind of impact did they have on your life? I can think of like teachers that I've had, in like all of my career that really had impact on me. And I remember specifically, and it's so funny to me, like such a coincidence. As I was reading this, I had not thought about this woman and I could not tell you how long. Her name was Emily Wall, and she was a professor that I had at State for college for becoming a teacher. And she was blonde and she almost reminded you of Emily Gibson. Like she kind of had that same personality, that same spark, that same blonde hair. She almost dressed like her. And she was truly an elementary school teacher who had came in to teach a college class on elementary education. But just the way that she ran things in her classroom for us, like just had such an impact on me on how I ran my classroom and how I did things. Like she gave us tangible tips, because how many times in a classroom do you actually learn what you need for the real world, right? Like never, right? So it was actually like tangible things. And I remember her having, like when I started my classroom, like that influence she had over me. And Leah says, yeah, one of my teachers in 7th grade, she was a great listener. She wanted to help us and was the reason I wanted to teach 7th grade math. Those are the people that you think of, and you want to be, not like you have to be like them, but think of their characteristics that they had, those are the kind of things that I was thinking of. Okay. So that's lesson 1 with the influence. And I just wanted to point out some quick things in this lesson. I love how they're not called chapters, they're called lessons. I'm not born a leader, so I can't lead. Guys, it's just like a business builder. They don't come in a business builder, we create them, right? So you as a leader are created. You are developed, and you're developed doing this stuff right here, doing a book study, listening to the podcast, doing the personal growth. Like you all are doing that. I'm waiting until I get a position to start developing as a leader. When I hit rank, I'll do blank. Like how many times have we said, or when I said, when I hit Emerald, I'll start doing videos, or I'll start doing team Zooms, or I'll start leading whatever, right? We cannot do that, right? You have to start learning and doing now where you are. Because if I wouldn't have started doing team calls with Andrea as a senior gold, or wherever I was in my business when we started doing things on our own as leaders, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now, right? Like, because I wouldn't have that experience. I wouldn't have this journey to share with you. So don't wait until you're a certain rank, or you have a certain amount of points, or you make a certain amount of money. Like start it now. Alicia says, my best friend's mom, she was a Christian who raised her kids. Now she believed was such a positive impact on my life, where I was raised by non-Christian parents. What an influence, right? Such a positive difference, right? Then I was thinking leadership is just influence. It's nothing more, nothing less. Leadership is the ability to obtain followers. It doesn't come with a rank. It doesn't come with position. You could be a diamond and just be a horrible leader and nobody's going to follow you, right? I mean, I don't know how you'd be a diamond, but people in business and jobs who are terrible leaders, right? But because of a title, they're in that position. And I think of so many bosses that I've had who are like horrible, right? They were just horrible leaders, but because had a title, they were in that position as like the leader. It says, what if you never achieve that proper title? Will you keep waiting to try to make a positive impact on the world? So what are you holding out from the world by waiting for that title? Who asks you for advice or your opinion? Who do you influence? Think of those people, right? Who asks for your opinion? Who goes to you for advice, right? That's who you probably have influence over because they're coming to you to ask you things. Think of why you follow like the certain influencers on social media. What makes them so special? What makes them stand out? Because I follow one girl and I absolutely I love her. She's a mom, she's a teacher, like she shares very relatable stuff. But when it comes to her selling stuff, she'll be like, here, buy this hand cream because I make $5 off of it. So I need everybody to use this link so I can make some extra money. And it's just like, huh? No. Next, right? Like you're like, that's terrible. That's not how you do this, right? So it's just like that horrible, that bad influence on her part for that. The question is, will you be ready for them when they come? When you are ready to grow that team, are you going to be ready? Right? You can't wait until you're emerald to do this stuff because you can't lead a team if you're waiting, because you'll never have that experience. You won't be ready to lead an emerald team. So don't wait. Prepare for leadership today. Learn how to cultivate influence and use it to make a difference. So what if that rank comes quickly? What if emerald came next month for you, right? Is your leadership ready? Is your mindset ready? Have you been doing the personal growth that you need to be an emerald? And then when he started talking about learning about leadership, I thought, okay, well, that's exactly what we're doing right now. This book study is a perfect example. The 5 levels of leadership is actually a book. So if you wanted to read more on these 5 levels, it's actually a book of his that he goes in very deep detail of the 5 levels. But again, it's people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. True influence begins with the heart, not the head. It flourishes through personal connections, not rules and regulations. It's people connection. Leaders who succeed on this level focus their time and energy on the needs and desires of the individuals of their team and who they connect with. So we've said it time and time again, it's people helping people. It's a people connecting business, right? You are serving others. So don't want to stay at level 1. You don't want to stay at level 2, right? That's where all of this happens, right? Then when you got to level 3, that production level, this is where people get into their business. This is where momentum comes from, and momentum is created. It says people get things done, they help the members of their team get things done, and together they produce results. That's when good things begin to happen. Productivity goes up, people start reaching goals, profit increases, morale increases, turnover becomes low, and the team loyalty increases. This is when people become highly successful. They start winning. It's called the big Mo, which is momentum. They solve problems more easily. Winning becomes normal. Leading becomes easier. Following becomes more fun, and the work environment becomes high energy. Guys, this is all created with us. It starts with us connecting with people, investing in them, and helping them reach their goals. The production level, I feel like, is where a lot of people are, but they stay there. They don't move to that level 4. But I don't want to go into deep detail of those, but level 4 was the people development, and that's just duplication. That's developing others. That's all that is. Point blank, it's simple. It says the ability to empower others. The responsibility is to develop other people, to help them reach their personal potential, to help them do their jobs more effectively, and to help them learn to become leaders themselves. This kind of people development leads to reproduction, which is what we call duplication. So that's where you, of course, want to be. Not only investing in people, right, but we're developing other people. This is when you become a mentor and you're really taking time to invest in people. And it goes through the things, the numbers. People want to learn from leaders. They see growing and learning. Guys, that's just simple. Like the people on your team, do you think they're going to go to the people who they don't see doing the podcast, sharing the YouTube videos, doing the book studies? No. Guess they're going to go to the people who are sharing the podcast, who are talking about the YouTube videos that they've watched, who are talking about the book study that they're doing, right? People want to learn from the people that they see growing and learning. They want to spend time with people. They invest in people. They're teachable, right? That means you're being coachable. Teachable people are the best teachers. Being authentic, admitting what you don't know as much as what you do know, and learning as much as you can from the other people. These are all characteristics that you want as a leader. True development helps an individual change lives. And that's what we do here. And then the pinnacle level, that's just tippy top leadership, right? Like Martin Luther King Jr. style. But I liked the point that it says the levels, they build upon each other. And you may be a level 4. I may be a level 4 with Joyce, but maybe I'm only a level 3 with Heather, right? You can be at a different level with different people. Nothing is permanent in leadership. The higher you go, the longer it takes. Guys, that's just time, right? It's investing your time. Okay. Let's go to lesson 2. Quickly. Let me get to my page here that I want to talk about. Okay. Are you a planner or are you the person who plays it by ear? Are you a planner or a person who plays it by ear? What kind of person are you? Do you fly by the seat of your pants? Or do you plan your day? Planner, by ear, a little bit of both. And I think it's okay to be a little bit of both, right? Because like I plan my day, like, but you can see there's white space. And that white space is, well, dinner might be at 5, but if the kids are playing outside, dinner may be at 6:30, right? Like some things just aren't like so cut and dry. In what parts of your life are you most frustrated by not having enough time? So think about your day. Which parts of your life are you the most frustrated by not having enough time? Is there something that maybe takes up too much time? Is there something that you feel like you can't get done because you don't have enough time? Everybody plans their day just so perfectly. I know sometimes, like my workout doesn't get done, right? Because the kids are outside, or I'm trying to get dinner done, or we're trying to get homework done, or whatever it is. Cleaning and housework, full show, right? So there's things that are going to take up more of your time, and it's definitely frustrating the whole day. I don't even know where the time goes. That is where truly like dedicating your time, right? Planning doesn't get done either. That's why I play it by ear. That is how I used to be. Like, and you all will have to like truly like talk to me about how this changed my life. because I'm not kidding. When I used to say I would wake up and stumble around my house for an hour, and then I would come home from work, walk around my house for an hour, do stuff with the kids, pick up this, pick up that, put the dishes in the dishwasher, do dinner, bath the kids. And then I'm like, it's 9 o'clock. I didn't get anything done. And it's because I was just aimlessly doing things and nothing was getting accomplished because I was doing a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, and nothing was getting done. But when I started doing this is my work time. This is when I pick up my kids. Like, this is when I take her to gymnastics. Abe had a T-ball game. Then we had to go back and pick up Kennedy. Like, it was just like, ding, ding. I was like a pinball today. But I still got my workout done in between this time right here. I got my work done up here after their drop off time. And then we came home and played outside in this white space, right? And I feel okay. No, my dishes are piled up in the sink, but you know what? It's okay, right? Nobody's gonna die. There's dishes in the sink. It's totally fine. What was your greatest takeaway from these 2 lessons? What was your greatest takeaway between the priorities and the influence? What was your greatest takeaway? Plan a day for sure, but I don't get stressed to pivot. I don't either. That's just the way it goes. That's life, right? So if you're not, and this is the part where he really talks about this. And if you're the person that's not planning and you're playing it by ear all day, every day, I would go back and I would read lesson 2 again. Because you've really got to get control of that time, or you're going to feel like life is always happening to you. You're not getting enough done. You're going to have that time scarcity because you're not like really accomplishing anything. Leaders coach them, bosses drive. Yes, I love that when it compared the bosses to the leaders, because you can think pretty much at any job you've ever had, it's a boss, not a leader, right? And you can tell. I can tell my principal at work, she tries to lead, but she's a boss. You don't control your time. We make choices. Like, that was just like ding, 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 ding for me. This whole page I like underlined. It's not, the problem is rooted in the choices you are making. You choose how to use it every moment of every day, whether you believe you do or not. You think, when I feel like I don't have enough time, I need to examine myself, my choices, my calendar, and my priorities. These are the things we can control. So you don't control time, you control your choices. How are you spending that time? What's your priorities? That's especially true for leaders because our actions impact so many people. So we have to prioritize our time because we have people who are demanding our time, right? We have kids, we have families, we have people on our team, we have customers, right? So you have to be able to like prioritize your time. Working smarter has a higher return than working harder. Finding better ways to work and making the most out of the moments you do have. Disciplined use of the time everybody else wastes can give you the edge. So stop wasting time, right? Disciplined use of the time everybody else wastes gives you the edge. He says 95% of achieving anything is knowing what you want. That's especially important for someone who is leading others. That's vision. Knowing what you want down the road, why you want it, and being able to show others why you want it, right? That's vision casting. But that's 95% of achieving anything is knowing what you want. If you want to be successful as a person, as a leader, you must make choices. You must prioritize. You cannot have it all. You cannot do it all, right? Okay. Yeah, it's all priorities. What's that quote that says, don't tell me you don't have time, tell me it's not a priority and see how you feel about it, right? Tell me you don't have time to work out, but say, I don't prioritize my workout. And it's like, slap in the face, right? Remember that the good must sometimes be sacrificed for the best. I loved how he talked about the difference between the good and the best. So think about that. Think about the lighthouse keeper who kept giving his oil away, but he let the ship wreck, right? Because he wasn't focused on what he was actually supposed to be doing. Being proactive instead of reactive, that's huge in life, because if you're reactive to everything, Andrea can tell you it's going to like throw you off course, and you're going to have to continue to get back on course. Instead of, you can just be proactive and never get thrown off course, very slightly, right? Because you're always ready for it to happen. So look at the initiators versus the reactors. Think about the time before you leave for a vacation. You're like, got to do this, got to do this, got to do this. Everything's going to be lined out, just perfect before I leave for vacation, right? You can do that all the time. I always tell people, some of y'all work like so hard the last like week of the month. But if you would do that like all month or like half the month, could you imagine what your business would be like instead of just the end of the month coming in and be like that Jim Carrey GIF, right? Do that a little bit more intensity throughout the whole month instead of just at the end of the month. And could you imagine where your business would be? Let's see what else I want to talk about. The more responsibility you carry as a leader, the more you have on your plate. Get a bigger plate. I mean, I don't have any other advice. It's going to take more time. It's going to be a bigger investment. You're going to be connecting and loving and investing on more people. And that's just the responsibility of being a leader, right? It's more Zooms. It's more evenings on Zoom calls. It's more team calls. It's more podcasts. It's more spending money on personal growth. But I make the money, right? The income is worth it, right? Spending time with you all is worth it. Like, I don't see that as like, oh, I got to get on another Zoom call. That's not how I see this, right? I see that this is an investment to me. This is an investment in my team and you all. Like, I don't see this as like a negative at all. It says a life in which anything goes will ultimately be a life in which nothing goes well. So if you're just letting life happen, nothing's going to go well. 20% of your priorities will give you 80% of your production. We tell you all the time, work with your top 20. If you've got 5 people on your team, go work with 1 person. You've got 100, go work with your top 20, right? Take that top 20, and that's where you spend 80% of your time. The place this principle impacts leaders the most is in the people that they lead. The top 20% carry the greatest load and make the greatest difference. Unfortunately, the people who require the most time and attention are those in the bottom 20%. Those are the ones who don't pay attention to anything you say in a team chat, on a team call, but they're the ones who are blowing up your phone every flipping day, asking you 50,000 different questions because they're not paying attention, right? We all have those people. So pay attention to your top 20%. Who is showing up, right? And then I want you to think, what's required of me? As a leader right now on my team where I am, you're going to have responsibilities. You're going to have non-negotiables as a leader. What's required of me? Knowing what activities give you the greatest return is vital. Make it fun. Find your passion. That's where I got a lot of this right here, is being able to, he says, hourly time block day by day. That's what this is. Hourly time blocking. Knowing what I'm doing every day at what time. Prioritizing your time. What you don't fill time with, something will find time. Something will fill it, whether it's a priority or not. Something's going to sneak in and fill it, whether it's scrolling your phone, Netflix, whatever it is, it'll fill it. It says, when I lead others, it's my responsibility to see more and do more before the others. Again, that's your vision casting, right? He talks about self-care. And so that's really it. He does talk about simplifying life, and talking about keeping 20% of your day as white space. And I love that he said that, because like, I love that white space, because it's time that I play with my kids, or we play outside, or whatever, you've got to have some time. Like, I can't time block this entire day. I'd be miserable, right? Because I wouldn't have time to do the things that I needed to fill my own cup or to take care of me. So if you need to reread this chapter, I dropped some of these notes from this workbook in the chat last night if you want to go through those. But this has been really good, and I've really liked it. You can see I took a ton of notes and highlighted like a ton of stuff. But when he talks about the energy renewal, that's just self-care. So find what recharges you, what fills your cup, and that's what I want you to do. Recharge yourself. But this was so good. And then we'll see you guys next Monday for lesson 3 and 4. We'll just take it 2 at a time since they're so much longer, and I want to like kind of dig in a little bit. And then so 3 and 4 next week. That is May 16th. So we will see you all then. Thank you guys for joining us and taking time to be on here. We appreciate it. We can have discussions in that chat. You all can drop whatever. That chat thread is for you all too. So if you want to drop things in there, or if something stands out to you and you want to like discuss it, feel free. I'm sure somebody would be happy to chime in.